Hello and welcome. We are about to go in to the only four ways to get new business leads and what to avoid. Now, if you're a coach, a consultant, if you're a business in the service led arena, this is for you. So, we're going to break down the four main ways for you to get leads. I'm going to give you some examples as well and take you through those. We're streaming across a number of places: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as a number of groups going into Facebook. But I wanted to touch on this topic because if you're looking to take your business, past the 10K per month stage, this is one of the areas that you really have to kind of lock into. And a lot of people, they get caught up in, I guess, the different areas of business, whether it's updating your offers, whether it's looking at sales, conversions, team, and so forth. But for me, a lot of business problems can be solved if you're able to generate leads consistently without the challenge, of trying to figure out how to get your leads coming in. So the thing is, if you can generate leads, then you go beyond, the typical challenge that most coaches and consultants face, which is, where do I get my next lead from? Where do I get my next prospects from that then become clients? And so I'm going to break down the four key areas that you can get leads. And then we're going to look at some examples of what to avoid and things that you can do. Now, I'm going to mention the four lead sources, and then we're going to go into each of them. And the the thing that I want to share here is each of these ways have advantages, let's say. And the key is to figure out which ones align with your gifts, meaning your ability to share your message, your energy, your rhythm, your pacing, your toning, and what it is that you're here to deliver in terms of your services for your clients. Like, that's for you to figure out by understanding how well your marketing is performing. It isn't for you just to do marketing forever and a day and not get results. And I see this quite a lot where people say social media isn't working for me or isn't working at, the next level. And I also see people who run ads and do different things. And the challenge is that all of this stuff works, but you've got to be willing to work it to understand where are the opportunities and where are the gaps. So let me get into these four areas. So the four areas you've got, if you want to generate leads, you've got free content, number one. Number two, you've got warm markets. So who knows you? Who can you go out to and have conversations with? Number three, you've got partners, right? And then you've also got cold outreach. And for these areas, like each one of these, like I said, they all have advantages and disadvantages. But for me, the number one area where most people get started, and I'm going to touch on, is posting content. Now, with posting your content, you're going to come across different types. You're going to come across text, short form, long form. You're going to have videos. You're going to have short form videos, long form videos. You only have to look at the social media channels. They're the places that dictate the types of content, obviously, that you're publishing. You can publish in other places like blogs and so on, but free content is the typical place that most people tend to start off with. And you can easily get to, and I say easily, you can easily get to 10K a month by posting free content that eventually leads to you speaking to the right prospects. The challenge most people have is that they don't like publishing content when they're not getting leads or they're not getting the attention of people. And therefore, they won't go, with the kind of long game approach. And the thing with publishing content is, an audience is expecting you to show up consistently, and the more consistently that you show up, the more trust you build. And so if you're the kind of business owner who likes to do a bit of work for 30 days and then you're going to take the next 2 months off figuring out a new offer or doing whatever you're doing, and you're just less consistent, what happens is you start to break down trust with your audience, right? And so publishing content, the thing that I would say to you is that if you're publishing a lot of content on whatever platforms you're on, you need to avoid teaching only, and you need to have a strategy with your content. And I'll explain both of those. If you constantly create content where you're just teaching, it's almost like being in school, right? So somebody comes to your channels, whichever channel it is, and it constantly feels like, you're just a teacher. And in some cases, you're going to attract clients. But if you think back at school, think about some of your most popular teachers, right? They were the ones that you felt some kind of connection with. They were either funny, you like their delivery, the tonality, you had a good rapport with this person. And those are some of the clues as to what you need to be when you're delivering your own content. You see, the thing is, people are going to connect with your character, your values. They're going to connect with you sharing empathy. So if you can share actual stories of how you went through a similar challenge to what your niche is going through, perhaps sharing similar stories for clients that you've helped go through, with what your niche are going through and come out the other side, right? And these are the ways that you can avoid just creating content that gives, like tips. Tips is teaching, right? You want to get to the point where you can just talk freely and just express, the way that not only you understand the logics of how to solve the problem that your audience is there to pick up and come to you for, but you also need to be able to share them stories and insights. You need to share why, you need to share the emotions, the feelings, and so that people get this feel for you. What I see time and time again with generating leads by publishing free content is people, they go down this one path, this one route, and they don't know how to like diversify into these other areas, how to bring more of their own character into their content. And generally what I also see happens is people start becoming self-conscious. They're like, they're worried about how they're perceived, how they look, how their voice sounds, rather than just delivering a message, right? The reality is, and you've probably seen these quotes, that most people aren't concerned with you, right? They're too busy worrying about their own challenges. But what they are willing to listen to is somebody who shows up, who's consistent, who's got a message, who's got some kind of personality. And that's what you're looking for. Like, free content is your route to get people to pay attention to you and for you to become the authority, at least somebody that person trusts with the problem that you help your audience to fix, right? So number one way is free content, guys. Now, one of the strategies that I want to give you if you are publishing content is you've got to have some kind of approach to what you publish on a weekly basis, Monday to Friday, or even Monday to Sunday. I was speaking to a client recently, and they were facing some challenges. Let's say they lost 2 key clients, monthly recurring revenue clients. And I was speaking to them and I said, give me an idea of what you publish on a weekly basis. And then they said, oh, I do Monday to Friday, I don't work weekends. And I said, well, based on you losing those key clients, do you think you have the privilege to take weekends off, right? Don't you think you should be doing something extra to build back up to where you need to be, so that you haven't got the stress of financial commitments, bills, and all the other things that come with it, right? Debts and whatever else. And this is one of the things about free content. Free content is simply about you being consistent. It doesn't mean that you have to publish content like every minute, every hour of the day. Be consistent with whatever you have. I know I say it's always quality over quantity. However, in this day and age, if you want to flood the market to get more people to see you, then you can obviously increase the volume of what you're publishing. And you see a lot of famous people like Gary Vee, Alex Hormozy, and they're publishing anything from like 20 pieces to 100 pieces of content a day, right? Because they've got a team to do that. If you can start at 1 to 3 pieces of content a day, that's where you need to be. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to get into a place of like matching, these celebrities that you see online, these influencers, or even getting to the point where you feel so overwhelmed by seeing what other people do. You don't start, right? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So free content is your way. So let me give you a strategy you can use with your free content. So on a Monday, right, you can start with publishing like a transformational post. So showing where your audience is right now, perhaps through the lens of a story about a client and how they achieve the desire that your niche is currently looking for. So sharing a client story, so what you do, or the reason why you do what you do, how-tos, top 10s, they do work, but wrap stories around them, client insights, or even personal insights. Other topics you can choose behind the scenes, literally show people how something works, right? If you're a coach or consultant or service provider, even if you show people behind the scenes, doesn't mean that people won't choose to work with you, or they're going to take, what you've shown and not decide to obviously reach out to you. There's a lot of people who they want to see before they buy. It doesn't necessarily mean they want to do it all on their own. They're probably going to come to you because they want support. And so I want you to bear that in mind. Don't come from a place of scarcity, come from a place of abundance, that you're showing that not only do you understand the topic that you're helping your niche to solve, but you're willing to show them behind the scenes. And it's a really powerful way actually to attract people in a short amount of time, to go from being a cold lead to actually a client. Another piece of content, and you guys may have seen this. Have you ever shared anything personal stories of you and your family, challenges that have happened in your business, or successes, right? They're usually some of the most popular pieces of content that you can share. And the reason being, people can relate to the personal side of you being a human being, but also it gives them an insight into who you are as character. And that's what allows, people to be attracted to you, in the sense of wanting to follow you, wanting to seek out more of what you do. And it's also a differentiator from just somebody who constantly just gives tips, because actually they can see you're a real human being as well. You can share motivation, like in your content. I don't necessarily want you to be going out there and sharing motivational quotes, but share motivation in the sense of beliefs, and changing beliefs, and showing what's possible with the problem that your niche have, and how you can help them to get towards where they want to be. Motivational content, and you understanding the beliefs that your audience need to change in order to get to where they need to be, right, is real powerful content. Because marketing, after all, is persuasion, right? If I can persuade you in the words, content, videos, text, whatever I put out, to either request like a guide from me, or want to speak to me, slide into my DMs, that's marketing. And in order to understand and be effective with your marketing, it's about being able to change beliefs, right? Changing the beliefs that you're somebody I can trust, or actually you're somebody who has a solution for what I'm looking for right now, and I like you, right? Know you, like you, trust you. So number one, we've just covered that. On a Monday, we're talking about the content strategy, which is about posting free content. On a Tuesday, what you can do is publish an offer to promote a lead magnet. Do you have a guide or a free video that you can give away to people? Promote that. Get into the mode of getting people to raise their hand. Right. I see a lot of people delivering great content. They don't ask anybody to do anything. You've got to put more offers out there, even soft offers for lead magnets, or just an expression of interest, or for people to engage below in your content. Get people to do stuff, right? Because then you're going to start to see who in your audience is responding. On a Wednesday, what you can do is publish, and I recommend a client case study. Start by what's the problem that they had, the weekly frustration or fear, that you're focused on. So you can show people what steps you took a client through in order to get to the outcome, the result. And there you have like a mini case study. And this is a really great way to show people who are thinking about either working with you or just being aware to what you do, like what's possible with you. On a Thursday, I recommend you go live, similar to like this video. I know it's not a Thursday. I'm doing my Monday live stream. But you can do like a walkthrough video to talk about the topic or the thing that you're talking about, right? And again, it's just another way for people to interact with you. And then on Friday, simply remind people of the video you put out the day before. Now, if you take this as a strategy, this will get you going in the sense of getting people to raise their hands. And that's what you want when it comes to marketing. There's too many people publishing content, but not saying, hey, do you need my help? So for instance, that little strategy I just took you through with publishing free content, I call it my 6-week content rhythm. It's something that I regularly share with clients or people who come into contact with me, and I have a guide. If anybody wants the free 6-week content rhythm guide, it also comes packed with a video walkthrough, free. There's no charge for it, right? But if you want that, just comment below this video with the word 6 weeks, and I'll know what you want. But anyway, so we're covering the only 4 ways to get new business leads and what to avoid. We've just done number 1, which is publishing free content. I want to take you to number 2. So number 2 is running ads, right? And this is where you either like the idea of ads or you don't, or you've had experience with ads and you either liked it again or it scared you. But I'm going to share with you what you need to do if you're on the path where your business is, say, at 8K per month, talking pounds or dollars. You're probably in the right place where you can invest some money into ads. You might be, generating like 5K a month, but you've got the cash flow because your business is fairly profitable, so you can allow some budget for ads. But as a step number 2, this is the way that you will build reach and consistency. But I'm going to give you the playbook, the cheat code to ads, right? And this is what I do myself, and this is what I teach my clients, right? So when it comes to marketing and running paid ads, avoid marketing direct to an offer to a cold audience. So let me explain. Let's say you're running a webinar. Don't market the webinar to somebody who's never seen or heard of you before. Let's say you have like an online course. Don't create ads that are going out to people who've never seen or heard you before. If you've got a lead magnet or a guide, don't market that ad out to people who've never seen or heard you before. Are you following the pattern what I'm saying here? So don't market direct offers out to people who've never seen or heard you before. Why? Because in order to connect with people on ads, it's about, can you provide value first of all, right? And now let me explain. So the way that you can run paid advertising literally from a £5 or $5 a day budget, I'm going to share with you, right? Here's what you do. You create either a 3 to 5 minute video, and you're going to create approximately 3 of these. So a 3-minute video, but you want 3 of them. And you're going to focus on, and let me just be really clear here, focus on a solution to one of the symptoms that you know your audience go through with the problem that you help them to solve. So if you think about it, let me give you an example. Let's say the problem was the flu. Well, we know with the flu, if we had the flu, symptoms would be runny nose, sore throat, a cough. That's an example of symptoms, right? So if I'm helping coaches, consultants, and business owners generate more leads, I know symptoms to their problems are messaging, audience, getting the right niche, getting the right message. They're examples of symptoms, right? So what you want to do is create a 3-minute video on how to solve one of the symptoms, not the whole problem, but the symptom, right? And I recommend you choose the top 3 symptoms, right? And if you don't know what the top 3s are, just choose 3 and start with this. So now you're going to create a video, right? And you're going to start with the video with a hook. So you're going to have, in this video, I'm going to explain how to solve whatever the symptom is. And I'm going to take you through, and plus there's like a free guide that I can give you when we get to the end of the video. So what we're doing here is we're going to create the video and just give value. We're going to speak for 3 minutes about how to solve a specific symptom. Now, for some of you, you might think, wow, that's easy. And for the other people in the audience, you might be thinking, well, I don't know where to start. For 3 minutes, how could I possibly talk about solving one of the symptoms? Now, if you're one of those people who think, I don't know what to say, you probably don't understand your topic enough to be able to explain it simply, right? You're not going to give a person the exact how-to as if they were a coaching or consulting client, but what you're going to do is give them the steps of what they can do, right, within 3 minutes. And I'll say that again, give them the steps of what they can do, not how to do the whole thing. That's what they buy from you, right, when they're a client. But in this 3-minute video, what's happening, guys? Well, here's what we're doing. In 3 minutes, we give value, right? And if we give a good enough account of ourselves in 3 minutes, that means the person is going to spend 45 seconds with us at least if they've watched 25% of a video, right? These people who watch 25% of one of your 3 value videos are going to be an audience that you can then retarget. This is called a warm audience. I hope everybody's following this. I'm trying to keep this simple. They're the people that you put your offers in front of. So on Facebook ads, YouTube, Google, you have an option to retarget people who've consumed your content in the past. So if you run these 3-minute videos, for everybody who's watched at least 25% of one of those videos, they're the ones that you promote your offers, your courses, your lead magnets to, right? Because it's a warm audience of people who've spent at least 45 seconds with you. What's going to happen here? It reduces your ad cost to get a conversion. So your cost per lead or your cost per conversion. And I hope this is making sense to all of you out there, because if ever marketing has scared you, well, I've just said to you, you can run a £5 a day ad campaign to run videos and then spend another £2. So that's like £7 a day. And in 30 days, how much do you think that's going to cost you to run one campaign? $210 dollars or euros. I'll say that again, 210, right? What's that going to do? It's going to allow you to retarget people all year long. And who do most people tend to choose to work with? The people who are top of mind, right? The people who have proven their value ahead of time. Is this making sense, guys? Right? So we've just covered step 2, or the second way to generate leads. We're covering the top 4 ways to get leads. These are the only 4 ways. So the first one was free content. The second one I've just been taking you through is running paid ads, right? And the strategy with ads, and I hope it's landed with everybody. And actually, I ran a workshop on this. I might run it again this quarter, actually. It was called Ads to Clients, and it was a 3-hour workshop, and I showed you exactly how to structure your videos and put your videos as Facebook and Instagram ads, so you can just attract leads all year round. There is recordings and replays available as like a replay course. If anybody wants access to that, I think I've got it selling for like £80 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But if anybody is in a position where you can afford £200 a month, this is how you'll generate leads all year consistently following what I've got in this. Just comment Facebook ads or Instagram ads under this video and I'll know what you're after, and I'll show you the link. So anyway, that's number 2. Let's go to number 3, the third way to generate new business leads. Now, if this is making sense, guys, this one's going to blow you away because I've got a real cool story. Actually, I'm gonna share one story and then go into step 3. So the Facebook ads example that I just gave you, I've got a client story where we ran that very strategy. So here's what we did. We created 3 videos, short videos, just like I said, 3-minute videos, and we just ran the videos. And then what we did is, for everybody that watched 25% of the videos, we offered a buyer's guide, right? It was for like a home improvement company, one of my clients, a buyer's guide, right? And what happened, this was really cool. They spent, and this, just so you have an idea of budgets, they were spending on average £1,000 to £1,500 a month, right? And at the end of the year, after running this strategy, right, they generated £1.2 million in sales. Can you imagine that as a return on investment, right? So they probably spent somewhere in the region of 12 to, let's say, £17,000 the whole year and generated £1.2 million in sales. And this is the same strategy I've just given you guys that you can run on literally £200 a month. You create value in 3 videos, 3-minute videos. So again, 3-minute videos, and you solve one symptom of the overall problem that you usually help your clients to fix. And for everyone that's watched 25% of one of those videos, they're the ones that you put your offers in front of. So, you know, if you're inviting them to a webinar, lead magnet, to buy a course, or to jump on a strategy call with you, that's what you do, right? That's how you make ads work. So anyway, now let's go into the third way of how to generate leads. This one, I really love this one because I've got such a great case study with one of my clients that I ran. The third way is JV partners and affiliates. If you don't know what that means, it means people who are willing to partner with you and put you or your offer in front of their audience. And usually it's either done for free, but it's either done for free, but most likely they're doing it because you're going to give some type of cut of whatever sales you make. So I'm going to give you the story, and then I'm going to explain what you should avoid. So the story is, I had a client who came to me. His name was Nate. He was from Chicago, and he was in debt. He was in a mountain of debt, like $200,000 worth of debt. And his credit card maxed out to $93,000. He had another $7,000 limit until he maxed fully out on the card. And he came to me and said, Leon, I've got $7,000. Let's run ads. Right. And, you know, I just explained the strategy of the second way to generate leads. And I said, don't run ads. So I'm going against what I recommend. But I said this because he was in such a huge mountain of debt. He owed the tax man, which is the IRS in America, a lot of money, as well as the credit card that he had. So anyway, I said to him, I said, who's in your network? Tell me who's in your network. And he was like, I don't know. And I said, come on, tell me who's in your network that if we put it in front of them, they'd be willing to sell it to their audience and take a cut, right? So anyway, we started, you know, looking at his network, and he was like, I actually know somebody who's in the same town as me in Chicago. And I was like, great, who is it? And he explained, and I said, perfect. I said, now let's have a look at what they're selling, and let's craft an offer that we know would align with their company, right? If we put that in front of them. So when to cut a long story short, he organized to call the guy, and then the guy allowed him to meet, right? So this is also part of the keys of when you're building joint venture partners and affiliates. So he had the meeting, and the guy said, I like the sound of your offer. So we worked on, you know, making sure the offer aligned with this guy's company. This guy had literally thousands of customers, right? But he also had workshops that he ran to a small segment of his customer group that fitted with the niche that my client was targeting, which was high net worth individuals, small business owners who were generating at least like $3 million. So anyway, we created a $50,000 and $100,000 coaching offer. So he was a business coach. And within 3 months, he'd been on stage speaking on the stage for this joint venture partner, like an hour presentation. he'd managed in those 4 presentations to do $768,000 in sales in 3 months, right? And it was a 50-50 arrangement, right? So he generated just over 375,000 or something like that. So immediately he was in a position where he could wipe out. His total debt was about $250,000. Amazing story, right? Well, in 6 months, he'd generated $1.47 million in sales. So they'd done this partnership for 6 months, worked out really well. It was 50-50. They both took home over 750,000 each, or just there or thereabouts. But here's what I want to share with you guys. Sometimes it's not just about you creating content. Sometimes it's about investing your time in finding the right partners who already have access to the type of person you're looking for to be a customer, right? You don't have to go the whole route of just doing content. There are ways to accelerate, where you're going, especially if there are organizations or people that are already serving your market. The things that you want to avoid, though, I want to share this. If you are building up partnerships, joint venture partnerships and affiliates, is avoid acting like you're entitled, no matter how good you or your services are. Because I've seen this where people have reached out to people and like, I've been rejected. They wouldn't even entertain a conversation, or they just cut me off. That's going to happen, guys. So if you are looking at going down the JV partnership route, and I do recommend you do this, there are different levels of JV partnerships. Maybe you can get to speak in someone's Facebook group, LinkedIn group. Maybe somebody will allow you to do like a joint live stream on Instagram. So it's like, you're collaborating together, but obviously they're sharing that live stream to their audience on Instagram, and vice versa on places like TikTok as well, or even YouTube. The point I'm getting to is there are different ways to get access to other people's audiences. And if you do it right, like I said, you're either going to be allowed to do it for free because you're not pitching like a direct offer. Maybe you're pitching the ability for somebody to have a lead magnet or jump on a strategy call with you. But I'm telling you, JV partnerships and affiliates will accelerate your success, just like my client. I mean, $1.47 million in sales in 6 months is a phenomenal result. And that was all because of us cultivating a relationship, right? And then the right offer for that relationship. So do have a think about that. So this is the 4th and final way to generate business leads. And I'll do a summary once I've covered this 4th step. So the 4th step, and this is probably the most unpopular way, but it also happens to be one of the most, let me rephrase, it also happens to be one of the ways that can be one of the most successful ways to generate leads, and it's called cold outreach. And I don't want anybody to fall off the chair or get scared, right? I'm going to tell you the things we need to avoid. Avoid being one of those appointment setters on Facebook or LinkedIn where they message you and say, hey, I can get you 30 booked calls in the next 30 days. Like, that's not the right way to do cold outreach. But I'm going to explain a really cool way, right? Now, why does cold work? Well, cold outreach has worked for years. Back in the days of people actually phoning you in your office, right? Unsolicited calls, unsolicited emails. These things work. I'm going to explain how they work, but I'm just going to tell you, just avoid being somebody who has no value, right? Don't just reach out to people and expect them to work with you just because you can offer a service. That's not how cold works really well. And me personally, I avoid unsolicited anything, right? That's my personal preference, but I'm telling you because this is a proven way. But I'm also going to tell you what you need to be prepared for if you are looking at going down the route of cold. And then I'm going to explain to you how I work cold and how it works for me in the right way. So when you do cold outreach to generate leads, you've got to understand that you want to avoid anything unsolicited where there's no value, but you've got to be prepared to go deep for 6 to 12 months to establish a solid cold outreach process or method. Like, that's how long it takes, right? If you're a small business and you're doing under 10K, it's probably not right for you. If your business is on the way and you've perhaps got, a couple of people in your team or even one person in your team who's doing cold and that's their sole focus and responsibility, but you can see them taking it from 10 to 20 to 50, you probably already know that it's going to work for you. I've got somebody in my pipeline right now. He's a big cold outreach specialist, and he does $600,000 a month. I was having a chat with one of his team recently because they wanted to find out about my coaching to help him, because he wants to take his business to $1 million. But cold outreach is not my specialism. So again, I'm just telling you, it really is powerful. But let me tell you the right way. If does anybody market on LinkedIn here? If you market on LinkedIn, just comment underneath this video with the word LinkedIn. I'm going to give you a really cool way, and it works really powerfully. And I'm also going to share how you can do the similar thing on Facebook as well. So if you market on LinkedIn, you're targeting more B2B clients. This is the method that I use, right? Okay, I can see somebody's marketing on LinkedIn. So one of the ways that works really well is this. On LinkedIn, you have tools called automation tools, and these are in the gray area of marketing, but it can be done really well. And a lot of top people that you probably know of actually use these, but these tools do cost a bit of money, and I'll explain the costs. So the first thing is you need Sales Navigator on LinkedIn. That means the paid version of LinkedIn where you have more insights and refinement that you can target people as leads, right? So that way you can build up lists of the kind of people you would like to approach. That's the first step. The second step is you need some automation software. And one of the ones that I recommend is something called Expandy. If anybody needs the direct link to Expandy, just comment below this video with the word Expandy and I'll send you the link so that you can at least check it out. Sign up to it if you want. So Expandy is like attaching an email automation tool or software to LinkedIn, right? But here's what it can do. What it can do is send out automated connection requests to the right people that you've already identified in your saved searches from Sales Navigator, right? Now, here's the cool thing. Now, if you come from a value-based position, that means when you do connect with new people, you are going to send them messages to connect and build a relationship and show some of the value that you represent. So I'll give you a quick example. An example of that might be you send the first message saying, hey, I'm really happy to be connected with you on LinkedIn. I specialize in helping people, whatever your niche is, solve whatever the problem is, right? That's how you start. The second message you might send a day later, 2 days later. And what you may send in that message, and I recommend you send, is, hey, here's my latest article or one of my most popular articles, and share an article where you've spoken about, for instance, like one of the topics I mentioned in the first way to generate new business leads, which is to give value in some type of post, talking about an area that you have solved, the symptom to the problem that you usually help your clients to solve, and just send the link to the article, right? It's very low level. It's not like you're pushing people to buy anything from you. On your third message, your follow-up message with using this automation software, and I hope everybody's following along because it's very simple. It's just like 3 messages, right? You connect with the person, the software does the connection for you, and then it's going to send 3 messages 1 day or 2 days after each other. So the third message you're going to send out is, hey, if you have this current problem, whatever the problem is that you fix, and it's something you'd like to get solved sooner, how about we jump on a quick 15-minute call where I can take you through the exact steps of what you can do. And by the way, I'm not going to sell you anything. And literally, don't sell them anything. Just recommend what you can do to solve it on another call, right? That means you don't have to sell on that call. Now, here's the cool thing. What's going to happen is you're going to build up a pipeline of people who are connecting with you, and you're going to get some people who will take you up on either reading your article and get converted by the good content you've put together, or even a video if you've got a video, right? And you're also going to get some people who will take you up on booking a call with you. I've got one client right now who's using this. I've got a few of them, but one particular one I want to mention. And in 6 months, she generates on average 100,000 from this method. She doesn't have a big a career coaching business, but this generates 6 figures just from this method alone, right? The software I mentioned, Expandy, costs you about £80 a month, which is $100, and Sales Navigator on LinkedIn, which is the paid version of LinkedIn, will cost you the same, about £80, $100. So all in all, it's going to cost you about $200 or £160 a month. Now look at that. That's what it's going to cost you a month, and my client was able to generate 100,000. I've got other people who've generated much more, but that's an example of cold outreach. You've got more. I'm going to give you the ones that most people don't like. The other one you've got is you buy data, you buy lists, for instance, phone numbers, websites, and you literally get somebody who's an appointment setter, which you can hire somebody like, for instance, like in the Philippines, somebody who speaks good English, and you can literally get them to follow a script and phone numbers. You can also scrape data. You can buy lists of emails of active businesses and send out unsolicited cold emails. Like, these are not my preferred methods, by the way, guys, and I'm not recommending them. I'm just telling you that they work because it's done on a numbers game. It's for every 100 emails sent, people who run these methods are just simply looking for a 1 to 2% conversion. That's it, right? Some people get much higher, but these are the 4 ways that you can generate leads, guys. And I'm going to give you a quick recap. And if anybody's got any questions, please just drop your questions below this video, wherever you're watching. So number 1 was about posting free content, and I explained my 6-week content rhythm method. If anybody wants access to that 6-week content rhythm guide and walkthrough video, just comment below this video with the word 6 weeks. The second one was running paid ads, and I explained my £7 a day paid ads method, which is going to take you up to approximately £200 a month, right? But as I mentioned to you, one client who ran that method, we helped them to generate an extra £1.2 million in sales. They were selling a £20,000 to a £50,000 product, right? Then I also explained step number 3, or the third way, which is JV partners and affiliates. Like literally build your network of people who you can use other people's audience, because, for instance, they have your audience, but they serve them in a slightly different way. It's a real powerful way to open up the doors and really grow how big your company can go. And then the 4th way of generating leads was cold outreach. These are the ways that work, guys. There is no magic and there is no trickery to marketing. Do you want some shortcuts though? Of course you do. Of course you do. The shortcuts are testing each one of these, but understanding what you've got to test. One of the easiest ways is to create content. Like even this live stream right now, I'm out on Facebook and a whole bunch of other places, Instagram and so on, right? And just through this content, I'm testing what's working. I'm testing, how many people are staying visible with me, how many people are commenting in all the different places, how many people want the free things that I'm offering. Now, if you want me, here's the thing I've got to offer for you. If you want me to walk you through these 4 ways that I mentioned today and how you can get them to work in your coaching, consulting, or service-based business, I'm holding a webinar this Thursday. It's free, right? But I'm actually going to take you through and show you the steps. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. If you want to be part of this webinar and have access to it, there's going to be limited seats, right? Because there's going to be lots of questions. So I don't want to open up the doors to too many people joining me for free, right? Otherwise I will charge for it. But if you want to join me, simply comment below this video, wherever you're watching, with the word webinar, and I'll make sure that you have access to join me on Zoom. And I'm going to take you through these 4 ways to generate leads in your business, and we can focus on the ones that you really want to ask questions about, guys. And I'll show you the templates and I'll show you the examples of exactly what you can do and what to do in order to generate leads and take a person from being cold, never seen you before, to being a client in 7 days. I've done it many times in 24 hours because the stuff that I do works. I've been testing it long enough. I've been in marketing like 4 years. So if you want to be part of this webinar, guys, just comment below this video with the word webinar. It's going to be about 60 to 75 minutes, I would guess. I'm not going to take it too long unless you guys have got more questions. But this is your opportunity to get leads in the next 7 days. You can use it all, for the rest of the year. So if you want to be part of it, just let me know. On that note, guys, I just want to say I'm done. Those are the 4 ways to get new business leads and what to avoid. There are no other ways to get leads. The rest of it is just all like bullshit and people like trying to show you there's a new hack to TikTok, to Instagram, to this. I've got clients who've like literally got millions of followers across all social media, and they follow the same methods I've just shared with you guys. So don't be fooled. The time, oh yeah, somebody just asked Thursday. It's going to be at 1 p.m. on Thursday. That's 1 p.m. UK time. That's 2 p.m. Central European time. Otherwise, that will be 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for anybody watching from America. And that's it, guys. Let me know if you want to be part of it. There will be a replay for those who show up and ask questions, because that's what it's for. And on that note, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to subscribe. For everybody else, do follow the profile, and I'll be back on Thursday. All right, take care. Bye-bye.